Welcome to Z's and Threes. And after one of the most thoroughly underwhelming SBs of all time, we put football season up on the shelf, and it is time to welcome all of you rabid sports fans to the NBA season. And you know what the best way to keep up on the rapidly evolving, increasingly intriguing, wide open season that is the National Basketball Association? Well, Z's and Threes, that's how. Your daily Monday through Friday fast break assist, under 30 minutes, all the latest scores, stories, news, and notes that you need to know. Great place to start. My NBA midseason report card and NBA trade deadline videos. I will link those at the end of this one. If you like what you see and hear in this one, please do like and subscribe. Share with a friend to stay in the know. Got a lot to catch you up on over the weekend. Let's get it. Group chat game of the night. Sunday slate was group chat game of the day, but it was more like get them done before the big game schedule. Highlight of which was Hubie Brown's broadcast final chapter for the Sixers-Bucks game in Milwaukee, the place where he got his first coaching gig in the NBA back in 1972. The man is 91 years old, 15 years as a head coach in the ABA, 13 years in the NBA, and 35 as an analyst, punctuated by being on the calls for 18 NBA finals. As a fellow broadcaster, I have always appreciated Hubie's focus on the education of the game over just pure entertainment. He is a pillar of stewardship for the game of basketball and broadcasting. I highly recommend that you go watch the send-off given by him, giving thanks, and Mike Breen as well. Bucks won the game 137-125, courtesy of 43 from Damian Lillard, without the help of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who the Bucks said today will be shut down till post-All-Star break. Joel Embiid did play 27, 12, and 6, but said straight up during the game to Lisa Salters his knee isn't right and will probably require another surgery. Thankfully for Philly fans, probably some of the sting of that was taken off by the result of the game later in the evening. Two other games early Sunday. The Pistons beat the Hornets. They led wire to wire. Did the Pistons another triple-double for All-Star Cade Cunningham, 19, 10, and 12. The Rockets finally pulled out of their tailspin, a 6-game slide, stopped with a 94-87 win over the Toronto Raptors, but more bad injury news. They've been missing Fred VanVleet and Jabari Smith Jr., and now their all-star Alperen Şengün. Is he potentially sidelined? He's good. He's an all-star. He's he's from Turkey, if you haven't heard the name. But he left the game after just 3 minutes of action, did not return with a back issue. So that's everything from Sunday. Saturday, though, was the focus of the weekend. It was chock full with marquee games, so that is where we will go. Pacers-Lakers was flexed into a national window in anticipation of Luka Doncic making his Laker debut. But prior to such, the Lakers bagged the league and ESPN with news that both he and LeBron James would not be participating. Austin Reeves fans, though, can declare him a national holiday as he dropped a career-best 45 points, albeit with an unethical 13 made free throws, en route to a Lakers 124-117 victory. Lakers have won 5 in a row. They are 5th in the West. Luka's debut coming Monday against the Utah Jazz. The other side of that trade equation, Anthony Davis and the Dallas Mavericks. They were returning back to their home crowd off an impressive Thursday night victory in Boston, but reports in that game, anger in the Metroplex Dallas-Fort Worth area. They were greeted by protesting and on-edge fans, yet were ushered immediately into the Anthony Davis experience. What does that mean? Well, a 14.8 rebound, 3 assist first quarter in which he declared emphatically his presence to the home fans. But the other side of the Anthony Davis coin, his day ended early in the third quarter after sustaining a groin strain that initially was spoke of as no cause for longer-term concern. The Mavs get the win They sit 3 games above 500 after such, 8th in the West, but the news coming out late Sunday night, they will be without Anthony Davis for an extended period of time. A left adductor strain that will sideline him for multiple weeks, possibly a month. Yikes. Reports out of Dallas during the game was that fans were not allowed to voice or show any sign of displeasure or discontent towards the front office, towards ownership, without risking being ejected from the game. Add all that together with the first public words from Mavs' new owner, Patrick Dumont. Mark Cuban is no longer the controlling owner. Patrick Dumont, speaking to the Dallas Morning News, said, quote, "I want you to know I really sympathize with all of our fans who feel hurt. Look, as far as I'm concerned, Luka is a Mav for life, and I really wish him nothing but happiness and success in his career as he continues in LA. In my mind, the way teams win is by focus, by having the right character, by having the right culture, and having the right dedication to work as hard as possible to create a championship-winning outcome. And if you are not doing that, you are going to lose." Interesting. Dumont also addressed the growing rumor of the political power play to potentially relocate the team to Las Vegas, a market the NBA has eyes for, and that the Mavs ownership group has ties to given their presence and wealth made in the gaming industry. He said, quote, "The Dallas Mavericks are not moving to Las Vegas. There is no question in that. That is the answer. Unequivocally, the Dallas Mavericks are the Dallas Mavericks, and they will be in Dallas." End quote. Yeah, welcome to the NBA season. Okay. Let's take it back on the court, as there is plenty of drama and intrigue to be held there. The 2 hottest teams in the league entering the weekend win streak wise were in action. The Denver Nuggets made it 6 consecutive victories, a 122-105 win in Phoenix over the Kevin Durant-less Suns. No, they did not trade Kevin Durant. He just was not playing as they try to get through some healing maybe in Phoenix. Interesting to watch. The Jokic-led last NBA champs to represent the Western Conference sit currently in 3rd in the conference race. They are a game and a half behind the Memphis Grizzlies. The Portland Trail Blazers been the story of the league in their hot streak. They had won their previous 6 and 10 of their last 11. They were stopped by the Anthony Edwards-less Wolves. He was sitting out. 114-98. Jaden McDaniels led the way with a game-high 30 points. Minnesota, they've won 3 in a row. They have moved above the play-in line to 6th in the West. Blazers Nuggets get together for a back-to-back, both in Denver on Monday starting. Celtics Knicks, that was the national prime window marquee matchup Saturday. 2 versus 3 in the East. New York giving Trail a chance to cut it to a game and a half in the standings. Big game for the Knicks on their home floor. Boston, though, controlled the whole first half. They were up by 15 plus for the majority of such. Knicks put together a run in the third. They cut the deficit to 3, but a 23-5 run by the Celtics quelled the threat. Boston led wire-to-wire, 131-105 victory, a 40-piece from Jason Tatum, 7 made threes, 25 points from Peyton Pritchard, 6 made threes himself. So the Knicks build their distance. We'll get on that in standings. Jimmy Butler, the log jam in the NBA trade machine for over a month. Well, he made his debut with his new franchise, recently inked a new 2-year deal. The extension with the Golden State Warriors. They were in Chicago. It did not start glowingly. The Bulls opened a 24-point lead in the first quarter. But we had that is the sound of a wild lead swing alert. That is what we play when the lead swings 15 or more points, and boy, did it ever in this one. The Warriors go on an absurd, peep this, 67-18 run. 67-18 run in the NBA. That is the NBA these days. It was across the span of 15 minutes and 59 seconds of game time. The lead swings 49 points. That's like Let's play the whole thing. Wow, 49 points, 25 for Butler. He had an unethical 13 free throw attempts. 34 points for Steph Curry. He found his three-point shot, has been struggling with such this year. He was 8 of 16, very ethical from Steph. Both highly complementary of one another on the initial returns, albeit one game. The Warriors now 500. They are 26 and 26. They have the same record as the Suns. Those two in the 10th, 11th places in the West. The next three for the Warriors before the All-Star break. At the Giannis-less Bucks, the AD-less Mavs, and potentially Şengün-less Rockets this coming week. Chance to make up some ground in that West race. 1 versus 2 in the West as well met in Memphis Saturday night and essentially led wire to wire by the Oklahoma City Thunder. The biggest lead was 28. It finished at 125, 112, 32 from MVP frontrunner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a completely unethical 16 free throws attempted. The Thunder, 42-9. They are 7.5 games clear of the Grizzlies and now a half game ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers for the best record in the association. If you're trying to do the math on the Thunder, we'll go back. I have a video that what makes them so good. The Cavaliers, 42-10. Friday night, they fended off the league's worst Wizards, ultimately prevailing 134-124. The Atlanta Hawks, they beat those said Wizards the next night. Why is that worth mentioning? Well, Trae Young's 35 points, 14 assists in that game. It is his 87th 30-point, 10-plus assist game of his career, the fourth most in NBA history already, and he is 26 years old. Hawks, though, looking play-in bound once again. Let's talk standings and where it is interesting right now. 6 through 9 in the Eastern Conference, separated by just 2 games. Pistons, Heat, Magic, Hawks, that quartet of teams battling for the final guaranteed spot, and then the 3 remainders that will compete in the play-in. In the West, 2 through 5, pretty juicy, separated by 3 games. Teams have an unbalanced number of games played, but it currently stands 2 Memphis, 3 Denver, 4 Houston, 5 LA Lakers. 6 through 11, the group after them is separated by just 3 losses. The Wolves, Clippers, Mavs, Kings, Suns, and Warriors. 6 teams amongst that group, 6 through 11, will be fighting over 3 playoff spots because you have the 1 guaranteed for the 6th seed, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10 play through the play-in that will whittle down to 2 teams. So 6 teams amongst those that will ultimately get 3 playoff spots. Juicy! Heavy pour leading score of the day presented by Portland Water. See the cans up there over my hand? That is our can stash for 50-plus point games. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. Today's heavy pour leading scorer, the former Portland Trailblazer. Wonder if he's had Portland Water. Damian Lillard had 43. Dunk of the night. I'm going to give a tip of the cap to ageless Uncle Jeff Green. Drove the lane on Scotty Barnes, who did the math and said, nah. 38 years old, 17 years in the league, and still getting down like that. Props, Uncle Jeff. Performance of the night. Well, give it to Hubie Brown, who's given to the game so much. Put on the headset one final time. A salute to the legend. Stat of the night, Weekend Day had pulled this one, just interestingly enough, looking at offensive rating. Denver is currently the top-rated offense in the league, followed by Boston at number 2. Their offensive rating is 7.5 and 7.3. Those are just the metrics, but it's far and away the 2 best offenses in the league when you look at the gap. Similar to how Oklahoma City is the best defense with a wide gap between first and second. But point being that they couldn't do it in more contrasting styles, Denver and Boston. I broke down the percentage of field goals made for both teams. And for Denver, with Nikola Jokic leading the charge, 26% of their field goals made are from behind the arc. So obviously the other 74 from inside the arc. And for Boston, well, 42% of their made field goals on the season are from deep. Very interesting. Goes to show you, well, there are multiple ways to do it. Teams with similar records, the last two champions in the NBA. Injuries and news from across the weekend had already broke down all of the injury items coming out, but news-wise, a significant piece that dovetails with one of the injuries that we saw in Anthony Davis. In giving up their stalwart at center, big man in Davis, the Lakers needed a center. So what did they do? Took a first-round pick and young, tantalizing rookie Dalton Knecht to package for young but oft-injured center of the Charlotte Hornets, Mark Williams. Well, it will be not, as the trade has been rescinded due to a failed Williams physical. Not incredibly out of the ordinary that we've seen a trade rescinded, but pretty substantial for the Lakers, as Williams will head back to Charlotte. Knecht goes back to LA, as both were introduced. All the news had already been spread. Very awkward in that regard. But more importantly, for the Lakers, basketball-wise, this puts them in a major bind. The deadline has passed, and they do not have a true starting center. The plan was Jackson Hayes. So what do the Lakers do? Do they start Luka at center? He's big enough, right, Nico? House shoes, New Balance 990 V3s. It was a gray day, gloomy here, so I busted out the gray kicks. I would like to welcome a lot of the post-football season crowd. Maybe you've been rocking with Z's and 3s throughout the entirety, but if you are new, welcome. If you're still trying to get caught up, well, I have over 100 plus episodes in the archive that you can go through and find out everything that you need to know. While you're there, why don't you like and subscribe, share with a friend that's trying to get on board with the NBA season as well. Previously, in an episode of Z's and 3s, January 27th in House Shoes, I talked about why watch the NBA. Well, my, how things have changed since then. The NBA is coming off probably its best week for publicity of the league since what I thought was the 18-19 playoffs. If you can remember back to then, that was when you had the Kawhi Leonard game winner in Toronto against the Sixers. Yes, that long ago. 2 Game 7s on Mother's Day, the same Sunday, a season that culminated with the Raptors winning the title over the Warriors, in which Kevin Durant got hurt. That kicked off what I will dub the parity paradigm that we were now in the NBA. Thought about the bubble, but the NBA, the sole focus of the sporting world, then people didn't have much of a choice. So yeah, I'm going to go with 18-19. The NBA has not had a week or a positive publicity run like it has over this last week. The Luka trade, all the other deadline deals, the NBA, for the first time in a long time, jumped to the front of the line in the sports conversation ahead of the NFL, albeit on the week of the Super Bowl. Given that the early theme of the season was three-point proliferation, good, bad, very lazy topic, I thought, I now have prepared 3 points for why you are getting in at the perfect time. First off, it is a wide open race. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. The Celtics, they are the defending champs, but they haven't looked like title defenders or found that form. Maybe that Knicks victory on Saturday was a start to that. After All-Star is really when teams put it in go mode, but Celtics haven't looked it yet. The Thunder, they're the favorites in the West, but something about this Thunder group, well, they have never played in the Western Conference Finals as a group. And I've gone back and looked at it, as the Thunder fans are a spirited group to discuss. But a team has not made or won the NBA Finals without having made at least a conference finals going back to the first Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green Warriors championship. A long, long time ago. I said last week there are 8 teams in my mind that are title contenders. One of you viewers asked me in the comments, so here you go. If you didn't see that, alphabetical order. This is not order of who I think. You got Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Mavs, Nuggets, Rockets, Thunder, Wolves. Those are my 8 teams that I feel are the title contenders. 3 from the East, 5 from the West. So the race for the title, in my opinion, wide open. Point number 2, the MVP race. Unfortunately for Giannis, I think this is a 2-man contest between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is seeking his first, and Nikola Jokic, who is seeking his 4th. Both are doing historic things night in and night out. Both clearly the most valuable to their team's success. The Thunder currently best record in the league. The Nuggets currently 3rd in the West. Who will it be? Well, the voters will decide. Point number 3, for 3 for the win, new energy. The trade deadline brought a much-needed breath of life and vigor into the league. Felt like it kind of just lifted this cloud that had been lingering. What will the LeBron Luka duo look like? Hard to count out those two working together, right? Teams, fans, the league, everybody, the media are confronting now the new realities of the CBA collective bargaining agreement rules, intended and unintended. You can check out my video from last week, find out more what aprons have to do with the NBA. But as mentioned, we are in a new paradigm for the league. The parity paradigm is what I have labeled it. 6 different champions across the last 6 years. That is the first time it has happened since the 1970s. For a league in the NBA that the narrative has been over the last 50 years, dynasties and dominance. Are those days done for good? Fitting the day that Hubie Brown hangs up the headset and Pat Riley put his trademark for the term three-peat back into his office safe. That's everything you need to know from the weekend that was across the National Basketball Association. And what a week it was to put in the rearview mirror and ride all the momentum moving forward. What to watch? Monday, well, you got 10 games with 20 teams in action. You can start with Wolves, Cavs, Anthony Edwards hopefully on the floor to take on Donovan Mitchell and the East leading Cleveland Cavaliers, 2 of my 8 championship contenders. Celtics, Heat. That rivalry always has plenty of juice. Does Miami show a renewed spirit with Jimmy Butler officially in their past? Blazers, Nuggets. Denver with the longest win streak currently in the league at 6 games at stake. And end it all with the debut of Luka Doncic for the Los Angeles Lakers against the Utah Jazz. If you miss any of it, as always, Season 3s, we got you. If you like the show, like and subscribe, share with a friend. Welcome to the NBA season, a full week of games before the All-Star break. We will see you tomorrow. Peace.